I froze in the doorway of Anthony's room, the creak of the floorboard under my boot echoing like a gunshot in the sudden silence. He was on his knees by the bed, clutching a crumpled photo of us from last summer's road trip, his arms slung around my shoulders. Both of us laughing under the Grand Canyon's red rock glow, but the knife in his other hand trembled against his wrist. A thin line of red already blooming like a betrayal I never saw coming. "Dad," he whispered, his voice cracking like thunder in a clear sky. "I can't pretend anymore. Not with you." That moment shattered everything I'd built since I married his mom 8 years ago. Back when Anthony was just a gangly 15-year-old with a skateboard under his arm and dreams of escaping our sleepy Ohio suburb for the lights of Chicago. I'm Dominic Hale, 42 now, a high school history teacher who spent his life piecing together other people's stories, wars won and lost, revolutions sparked by quiet desperations, while my own felt as straightforward as a Midwest Main Street, widowed too soon. Raising a kid who wasn't mine by blood, but became my world anyway. Elena, Anthony's mom, had been the spark, fierce, funny, a nurse who patched up ER chaos with the same steady hands she used to braid his hair. Cancer took her in a blur of chemo and false hopes, leaving us in that rambling craftsman house on Elm Street, where the walls still whispered her laugh on windy nights. I'd always known Anthony was different. Not in the cloying, inspirational way those after-school specials painted. No rainbow flags waving triumphantly from day one. It was subtler, sharper, the way he'd linger a beat too long when we wrestled over the TV remote. His cheeks flushing not from exertion, but something deeper, unspoken. Or how he'd blast indie rock anthems about broken hearts and stolen glances, then snapped the music off when I knocked on his door. I chalked it up to teenage turbulence, buried my own secrets under flannel shirts and Friday night football games. Me, gay in a town where faggot was still casual currency among the jocks I taught. I'd learned early to lock that part of myself in a mental attic, key swallowed whole. Elena knew, of course, she'd been my safe harbor, the one who coaxed me out of the closet with her artist's eye for hidden colors. "Love who you love, Dom," she'd say, her fingers tracing mine in the dark. The world's big enough for messy. But after she was gone, the house felt like a diorama of our fractured life. Her watercolor paintings on the walls, Anthony's sneakers by the door, my lesson plans scattered like confetti from a party no one attended. We muddled through, me coaching his soccer team, him acing AP classes with that quiet intensity that made teachers whisper future lawyer like it was a crown. By 18, he was off to Ohio State, majoring in journalism, chasing stories that mattered. We texted memes, shared awkward holiday dinners with my sister and her kids. Normal. Safe. Until last spring, when he dropped out after one semester, showing up on our doorstep with a duffel bag and eyes like storm clouds. "It's not for me, Dad," he'd said, the word dad slipping out like an apology. Too many ghosts in those lecture halls. I didn't push, didn't know how. Instead, I cleared out the guest room, turned it back into his old space with the faded Metallica posters and the desk scarred from years of homework battles. He got a job at the local diner, slinging hash browns to truckers who leered a little too long. And we fell into a rhythm, mornings with coffee on the porch, evenings debating podcasts over takeout pizza. It was companionable, almost easy. Almost. I should have seen the cracks. The late nights he spent scrolling his phone, thumb hovering over delete like it burned. The way he'd flinch when I clapped him on the back after a good shift, then lean into it a second later, hungry for the contact. Or that girl, Sarah, from the community college art class, blonde, bubbly, the kind of wholesome that screams beard to anyone who's ever hidden in plain sight. He brought her around once, her laughter too bright against our muted house. and I played the proud stepdad, grilling burgers in the backyard while inside. Something twisted like a knife in my gut. Jealousy? No, that was ridiculous. But the questions gnawed. Why her? Why now? It built slow. That undercurrent, like humidity before a tornado. We'd watch old westerns on TCM, feet propped on the coffee table, and his knee would brush mine, accidental, always accidental, sending a jolt I blamed on static. I'd catch him staring during dinner, fork midway to his mouth, and he'd drop his gaze, mumbling about the weather. Columbus forecast says rain tomorrow, he'd say, as if small talk could dam the flood. I told myself it was grief, echo of his mom's absence, the way loss warps everything into longing. But deep down, in the attic where I kept my truths, I knew better. Knew because I felt it too, that pull, magnetic and forbidden, drawing us across the chasm of roles we'd scripted for ourselves. Then came the secrets. Little ones first, finding a journal tucked under his mattress. Pages filled with poetry that read like love letters to a shadow. Your hands on the wheel, steady as fate/eyes on the horizon. But I see only you, and signed. But the ink bled like guilt. I didn't read further, couldn't. Instead, I burned the edges of my curiosity, focused on grading papers about the Stonewall riots. Irony thick as fog. Bigger secrets followed, overhearing him on the phone one midnight, voice low and pleading. I can't. Man. He's everything. But it's wrong. All of it. The line went dead. He didn't know I'd paused in the hallway, heart hammering like a fugitive. I started avoiding him. In the subtlest ways, extra shifts at school, runs that stretched into hours, a dating app downloaded and deleted in the same fever breath. There was Mark, a colleague from the English department, all easy smiles and shared hikes in the Hocking Hills. We grabbed beers after faculty meetings, his hand lingering on my arm, and, for a night, it felt possible, normalcy without the weight of home. But Anthony saw through it, his text sharpening. Late again? Don't wait up. Sarcasm laced with hurt, a mirror to my own cowardice. The misunderstanding festered. One evening, after too many whiskeys with Mark, I came home to find Anthony waiting in the kitchen, Sarah's lipstick smudged on his collar like war paint. Fun night, he asked, voice edged with acid. I snapped exhaustion. Bourbon. The attic door creaking open. What about you? Parading her around like it's some game? If you're trying to prove something, kid, you're failing. The words hung. Poisonous. His face crumpled, then hardened. You think that's what this is? Proving I'm normal for you? From Mom's ghost. He stormed out, tires screeching into the rain-slick night. We didn't speak for days. He slept on the couch. I buried myself in lesson plans on the Harlem Renaissance, chasing voices of the marginalized like they held answers. When he finally emerged, it was with apologies wrapped in barbs. Sorry for. Whatever. Just forget it. But the air hummed, charged, and I couldn't unsee the way his eyes traced my jawline when he thought I wasn't looking, or how my pulse quickened at the scent of his soap in the bathroom. Clean, citrusy, invading. That's when the betrayal hit, sharp as that knife in his room. I found the emails on the shared family laptop, left open in his haste. Messages to a guy named Tyler from his college days. Raw with confession. I kissed him once, drunk at a party. Felt like coming home. But he's my stepdad. Ty. What the hell does that make me? Attached, that photo from the canyon, annotated with hearts. My stomach roiled, rage at the exposure, terror at the truth it dragged into the light. Betrayal? Not his. Really. Mine. For ignoring the signs. For building walls instead of bridges. I confronted Mark that weekend, ended things before they began. It's complicated, I said, the understatement of the century. But the real storm brewed in silence. Anthony withdrew further. Shifts doubling at the diner. Nights out with Sarah that reeked of desperation. I paced the house. Ghosts multiplying. Elena's portrait watching from the mantel. Judgmental or forgiving. I couldn't tell. One afternoon, grading essays on the civil rights movement, a student's words jumped out. Freedom isn't given, it's seized. Messy and afraid. Seized. The word lodged like a dare. I knocked on his door that evening, heart in my throat. We need to talk. He was sprawled on the bed, headphones in, but pulled them out slow, wary. About what? His voice was steel over silk. I sat on the edge of the mattress, too close. Always too close, and laid it bare. Not the emails, not the photo. The truth. I'm gay. Anthony. Have been since forever. Your mom knew. Love me anyway. The words tumbled, clumsy as a first confession. His eyes widened, then softened. A dam cracking. I figured. Kinda hoped. Hoped. The implication hung. Electric. We talked till dawn, halting, honest. His struggles at college. The closet chokehold. The fear that loving me would unravel the only family he had left. My own attic emptied. The crushes buried in high school lockers. The marriage to Elena born of compromise and deep affection. But not fire. I love you, he said at last. The words a grenade. Not son to father, man to man. I didn't recoil. Didn't run. Just reached for his hand. Felt the tremor match mine. I know. God, I know. But dawn brings clarity. And clarity, cruelty. Society's script reeled in our minds. Stepfather. Stepson, taboo etched in stone. Whispers in our conservative town. The school board's prying eyes. The legal gray of it all. We can't, I whispered, even as my thumb stroked his knuckles. Not like that. He nodded, tears carving tracks, but pulled me into a hug that blurred every line. Brotherly? No. Familial stretch to breaking. That night, we slept in separate rooms, but the house felt smaller. Secrets no longer solitary. Weeks blurred into a tense truce. We cooked together, pasta sauce simmering like our unspoken pact, shared runs along the Scioto River, breaths sinking in rhythm. Romance flickered in glances, in the brush of fingers over dish soap. But conflict loomed, inevitable as winter. Sarah dumped him via text. You're elsewhere. Always, and he shattered, sobbing in the garage amid oil stains and toolboxes. I held him, rocking like I had when Elena died. But the scent of his skin ignited something primal. Forbidden. Stay, he murmured, lips grazing my neck, accidental on purpose. I pulled back, heart fracturing. I can't be what you need. The misunderstanding peaked that July. 4th of fireworks and family barbecues. My sister hosted, aunts and uncles grilling brats, kids chasing sparklers. Anthony arrived late, eyes bloodshot, breath sour with beer. Where were you? I asked, low in the kitchen shadows. He laughed, bitter. Out. Living. Dad. Unlike some, the slur hit, accusation wrapped in old wounds. You think I don't see it? How you look at me, but then you push away, like I'm poison. I grabbed his arm, steering him to the backyard's edge, away from the crowd. It's not that. It's us. The world. He wrenched free, voice rising. The world? Were you? Scared of what it means to love back. Aunt Linda wandered out then, plate of potato salad in hand, oblivious. Everything okay? Boys. We chorused yes. Smiles pasted like Band-Aids. But the seed was planted doubt, the cruelest thief. That night, he packed a bag, Going to Chicago. Internship at the Tribune. Real stories. Not this. Limbo. I begged him to stay. Words spilling. Fears of loss. Echoes of Elena. The love I couldn't name. Don't make me choose, he said. Duffel slung over shoulder. Because I will. And it'll break us. He left at dawn. Taillights fading down Elm Street like a verdict. The house echoed emptier than after Elena, her paintings mocking, my bed a vast accusation. I threw myself into work, sponsoring the school's GSA club, coming out in staff meetings with a speech that trembled but stood. Students nodded, one kid hugging me after. Thanks, mister. Hail. Means something, but nights. I scrolled his socials, heart aching at posts of windy city skylines, captions laced with melancholy. Months passed, calls grew sparse, texts polite frost. Then, the high tide of betrayal, not his, but fate's cruel jest. A package arrived in November, wrapped in Tribune newsprint, his journal, the one I glimpsed. Inside, pages chronicled us, not just longing, but forgiveness. Dad's not rejecting me. He's protecting us both. Wish I could tell him it's worth the wreckage. Tucked between a letter. I lied about the internship. Stayed because I couldn't leave you. But I have to now. Love you, always will. Find your mark. Or better, rage boiled at his sacrifice. My blindness. I drove to Chicago unannounced. 5 hours of white-knuckled interstate. Rain lashing like judgment. His apartment was a walk-up in Wicker Park. Hipster haven of murals and craft breweries. He opened the door in sweatpants. Hair tousled. Shock melting to joy. Dom? What? We talked on his fire escape. City hum below. Vulnerability a bridge. I confessed everything. The emails, the jealousy, the attic's collapse. I pushed because I was terrified. Of hurting you. Of becoming the monster. He cupped my face. Thumbs gentle. You're not. You're home. The kiss came in soft. Inevitable. Tasting of salt and second chances. Not lust, but revelation. Two men claiming space in a world that rarely yields. But climax demands cost. Back in Ohio, whispers followed. Town gossip mill grinding slow but relentless. A parent complained to the board. Inappropriate relationship with former student. Lies, twisted from truth. Investigation loomed. Job teetering. Anthony returned. Defiant. Fight it. Together. We did lawyers. Letters. My coming out story in the local paper. Headline of father's love. Unscripted. The board cleared me. But scars lingered. We sold the house. Moved to Chicago. Him at the paper. Me teaching at a progressive charter school. No grand wedding. No labels slapped on. Just us. Mornings tangled in sheets. Chaste. Profound. Evenings debating ethics over deep dish pizza. Elena's photo on the mantle. Smiling approval. It's not perfect. Taboo's shadow stretches long. Family holidays strained. Judgments from afar. But in quiet moments, hand in his, I see it. Humanism's messy grace. Love isn't possession, it's choice. Daily and daring. Anthony, my stepson once, my partner now, taught me that. And in his eyes, I see home, not a place, but a promise kept against the odds. The first winter in Chicago tested us like nothing before. Not Elena's illness. Not the knife's edge in his room. Not even the board's inquisition. Snow piled against our Logan Square brownstone windows, muffling the L train's rumble. But inside, doubts howled louder. We'd leased the place sight unseen. A 2-bedroom with creaky oak floors and a kitchen big enough for 2 chefs fumbling breakfast. Anthony dove into reporting gigs, exposés on housing inequities, profiles of queer elders who'd paved our uneven path while I navigated urban teaching. Kids from every corner of the globe challenging my Midwest metaphors. Mr. Hale, what's Heartland mean when your heart's here? One girl asked, her hijab framing a grin. I laughed, but it stuck. Relocation as reinvention. Our rhythm was tentative, a dance around landmines. Mornings, he'd brew Ethiopian roast strong enough to wake the dead, handing me a mug with that half-smile that still stunned. Fuel for the revolutionaries, he'd quip, referencing my syllabus. We'd linger at the table, knees touching under scarred wood, talking dreams deferred, his novel in progress, my vague itch for grad school. Afternoons blurred into separation, him chasing leads in Pilsen Ticarius, me grading in coffee shops amid laptop symphonies. Evenings? That's where the romance bloomed, subtle as steam from soup pots. We'd cook, him chopping garlic with surgeon's precision, me stirring risotto while jazz crooned from the Alexa. Laughter over burned edges. Stories swapped like currency. His college crush on a debate team rival. My first bar pickup in 90s Cleveland. Fumbled and fleeting. But intimacy was the tightrope. No rushing to bed. We honored the chasm with boundaries drawn in whispers. Cuddles on the couch during Black Mirror marathons. His head on my chest. Heartbeat syncing like Morse code. Kisses goodbye at the door, lingering. Yes, but chaste. A promise banked for trust fire. Love you, he'd say. Backpack slung. And I'd echo it back. The words heavier each time. Laden with history. Friends trickled in, his Tribune colleague. Lena, a sharp-witted lesbian with tattoos mapping her exes. My old OSU buddy. Raj, now a loop architect who grilled us over dim sum. You two? It's like a Hallmark movie, but gayer and less sappy. We laughed, but undercurrents swirled. Envy in Lena's eyes for our storybook, caution in Raj's for the step relation wrinkle. The first real conflict erupted in February. Valentine's blizzard trapping us inside. I'd planned low-key, takeout from that Italian spot in Ukrainian village. A bottle of Napa Cab. Elena's old recipe for tiramisu dusted with cocoa like fresh snow. Romantic, restrained. But Anthony arrived home early. Cheeks flushed from wind, clutching a velvet box. Open it, he urged, eyes alight. Inside, matching silver cuffs, engraved with coordinates, our Grand Canyon overlook. So we're always there? Together. My throat tightened. It was perfect. Perilous. I fastened his first, fingers trembling, then let him clasp mine. Dinner dissolved into slow dances in the living room. Coltrane's saxophone weaving spells. When he pulled me close, lips brushing collarbone, I didn't pull away. Dom, he breathed. I need you. All of you. We tumbled to the bedroom, hearts pounding, but stopped at the threshold, clothes intact, breaths ragged. Not yet, I said, voice hoarse. We deserve time. Not rebound from wreckage. He nodded, hurt flickering, but curled against me anyway, our cuffs clinking like vows. That night, sleep came fitful, dreams tangled, Elena approving from afar, Anthony's knife glinting warning. Woke to him sketching at the window, our silhouettes in pencil, tender and true. For the novel, he explained. Our story, unfiltered. I kissed his temple, tasting salt. Progress, fragile as frost. Spring thawed the ice, but unearthed older frosts. Anthony's ex, Tyler, resurfaced via email, innocent at first. A job tip on a queer rights beat. But threads unraveled, late replies. Deleted histories I glimpsed accidental. Jealousy, that old fiend, coiled in my gut. Who's Tyler? I asked one drizzly April Eve. Casual over stir-fry. His fork paused. Old friend. College. Lie by omission. I knew from the journal's ghosts. The misunderstanding snowballed. My silences at dinner. His overnights at the office stretching thin. One night, I tailed him, paranoid, pathetic, to a bar in Boys Town. Rainbow flags snapping in breeze. There, Tyler. All broad shoulders and easy charm. Arm slung around Anthony's chair. Laughter. Leans. A hand on thigh that knifed me deeper than any blade. I fled home, whiskey burning judgment, pacing till he stumbled in at 2 a.m., cologne foreign. Where were you? I demanded, voice raw. He deflated, guilt etching lines. With Ty. Talking. That's all. The fight ignited, words as shrapnel. Talking? Like the emails? The everything you confessed. His face blanched, betrayal mirrored. You read my journal? After promising, I hadn't meant to admit. But it spilled, the package. The drive. The kiss born of desperation. I thought we were building something real, he shouted. Tears hot. Not surveillance. He grabbed his keys. I need air. He vanished for days. Radio silence. My texts unread. Chicago swallowed him. Endless blocks of possibility. Anonymity in crowds. I unraveled. Calls to Lena, who stonewalled. Loyal. Ungraded stacks piling. Nightmares of the knife returning. On day 3. A text. Wicker Park. Coffee shop on Damon. Noon. I arrived early. Heart siege. He was there, hollow-eyed over black drip. Journal open like indictment. I told Ty everything, he said flat. About us. He gets it, the mess. The magic. Said I'm chasing ghosts if I settle for half measures. Pause. Piercing. Are we half? Dumb. Or all in? Consequences be damned. The question gutted me. I betrayed his trust. Spied like the small man fear made me. But deeper, my terror of labels. Of us as scandal in print. I want all, I confessed. Hand over his. But the world. Our history. He squeezed back. Fierce. Screw the world. We rewrite it. Forgiveness came slow. Earned in therapy sessions at a Lakeview clinic, queer affirming. No judgments. We unpacked addicts. My internalized shame from Ohio, pews, preaching fire. His from playground taunts, branding sissy. Hard truths. The step bond as anchor and chain. Love's evolution from paternal to profound. Summer healed in increments. Road trip redux, not canyon grandeur, but Route 66 remnants. Motels with neon ghosts. We drove my old Jeep. Windows down. Springsteen blasting anthems of blue-collar hearts. Stops at diners for pie a la mode. Hikes in petrified forest where petroglyphs whispered endurance. One dusk in New Mexico. Under star-flooded sky. We spread a blanket, cuffs glinting. Picnic of cheese and crackers. Remember the photo? He asked. Head on my lap. I nodded, threading fingers through his hair. That laugh. First real one after mom. Vulnerability crested. Tears fell mutual. I was gone for you even then, he admitted. Scared shitless. I tilted his chin. Kiss deepening, not chased, but charged with years. Me too. Still am. But terrified together beats alone. Back in Chicago. Life layered richer. He landed a column, Hidden Harmonies, Queer Stories from Heartland Holdouts. I enrolled in night classes. Thesis on LGBTQ plus narratives in American Lit. Friends expanded. Potlucks with Lena's crew. Pride floats where we marched hand in clasped. Rainbows reclaiming what fear stole. But conflict's shadow lingered, Tyler's ghost. My overvigilance. One August heat wave. Anthony's phone buzzed mid-dinner. Miss you. Drinks. Ty again. I froze. He deleted it, eyes pleading. Trust me, I did, mostly. Always trying, I said, pulling him close. Progress, etched in sweat. Fall brought unexpected bloom, Elena's anniversary. We drove to Ohio. House sold, but memories intact. Stood on the porch, wind whispering leaves. She'd approve, he said, arm around me. Knew you before I did. Inside, we sifted boxes, her letters surfacing. One to me, love him fierce. Dumb. Blood or not. He's yours. Tears. Then laughter over faded photos. That night, in a Columbus motel, neutral ground. Boundaries blurred further. Touches exploratory. Clothes shed slow. Bodies mapping familiar, yet new terrains. Not consummation's rush, but communion skin to skin, breaths mingling, love's language beyond words. Dawn found us tangled, cuffs linked, world outside irrelevant. Yet dawn demands reckoning. News from Ohio, an aunt's email, laced with concern. Heard rumors. Be careful, for both your sakes. The taboo reared, fangs bared. Anthony read it, jaw set. Let them talk. We're real, but doubt crept, my job's whispers. His editors raised brow at our domestic bliss mentions. Hard decision loomed, go public, risk ripples, or retreat to shadows. We chose bold, his column outing us. Anonymized but true, step by step, a love beyond lines. Responses flooded, hate mail venomous. Support a tide. One reader, your story, my mirror. Thank you. Through it, our depth grew. Psychology's trenches. Therapy unpacking codependence born of loss. Books on ethical non-monogamy, though fidelity suited. Runs along Lake Michigan where waves washed worries. Romance deepened in mundanities. Grocery lists with heart doodles. Sick day soups. Arguments over dishes dissolving into makeup dances. Betrayals echo, forgiven. Fuel for resilience. As leaves turned, so did we, toward future's bend. No bye kids or white pickets, just us, carving space in a nation of contradictions. Humanistic, yes, flawed men loving holy. Scars as stars. Anthony's novel draft arrived Christmas Eve. Dedication simple. To Dom, my unexpected everything. The new year dawned crisp. Chicago's wind off the lake slicing through overcoats like unanswered questions. We'd survived the column's fallout. Hate mail recycled into kindling for our fireplace insert. Fan letters framed on the fridge like badges. Anthony's byline gained traction. Hidden harmonies evolving into a podcast. His voice steady as he interviewed trans activists from rural Illinois. Drag queens who'd fled Bible Belt stages. Listeners surged. Invites followed to panels at DePaul. Brunches with Windy City Times editors. Pride swelled in me. Vicarious and visceral. My boy. Once knife teetering on despair's ledge. Now lighthouse for the lost. Me, classes consumed. Nights at the Newberry Library. Poring over Baldwin's essays. Ginsberg's howls. The raw queer canon that mirrored our detour. Thesis advisor. Dr. Rivera, a no-nonsense Latina with a laugh like church bells. Pushed hard. Dig deeper. Hail. What's the personal stake? I'd hedge, but in margins. Truths bled. Our story as case study. Taboos tension fueling narrative fire. Weekends. We'd escape to Galena for B&B getaways. Rolling hills. Apple cider donuts. Antique shops where I'd snag vintage watches. Him first editions of Whitman. Leaves of Grass, he'd read aloud by candlelight. Our bed a cocoon of flannel sheets. I celebrate myself. And sing myself, his eyes on mine. Voice husky, code for us. Unapologetic. But harmony's fragile, discord struck in March. insidious as thaw mud. Tyler reemerged, not digital specter, but flesh, crashing a podcast taping uninvited. All charm and backslaps. Anthony texted post-event. Ty showed. Awkward but cool. Catch up later. My reply, thumbs hovering, deleted thrice. Trust. We vowed. But when later, stretched to midnight. Phone silent. Paranoia gnawed. I paced our living room. Jazz mocking from speakers. Elena's portrait, now on the sideboard, seeming to sigh. By 1 a.m. Resolve cracked. I Ubered to the bar. Boys Down's neon haze. There they were, corner booth. Knees touching. Ty's hand gesticulating wild. Too close. Too familiar. Anthony's laugh rang. Head thrown back. The one that used to light our Ohio kitchen. Rage blinded. I stormed in. Voice low thunder. Home. Now. Heads turned. Anthony's face drained. Dom? What the Ty smirked, extending a hand. The famous stepdad. Heard lots. The word stepdad landed like acid, reclamation twisted. Anthony stood, chair scraping. Let's go. The ride home seethed silence, then erupted in our bedroom. Doors slammed like punctuation. Stalking again, he accused. Pacing. After therapy? After everything. I fired back. You invite ghosts, then play victim. Truths unearthed. Ty's role as first love. Safe harbor in college closets. The kiss Anthony'd confessed years back, now a specter of what if. He's easy, Anthony admitted, deflating onto the bed. No history's weight. No world's judgment. Betrayal's blade twisted mine. For doubting his. For entertaining escape. Do you want out? I asked. Voice breaking. He crossed the room, hands framing my face. No. Terrified of losing you to my stupidity. We collapsed together. Sobs sinking. Cuffs clinking absolution. Morning brought apologies over burnt toast. Pact renewed. Boundaries with Ty. Full disclosure. But the rift widened fractures elsewhere. Work pressures mounted. My thesis deadline looming. Anthony's editor demanding a book proposal on queer family myths. Late nights bred resentment. Me at the library till close. Him typing furiously. Takeout cold by untouched plates. Misunderstanding brewed. My exhaustion read as withdrawal. His stress as secrecy. One May Eve. Storm raging outside. It peaked. I came home to find him on the fire escape. Cigarette glowing, habit resurrected. Journal open. Can't write, he confessed. Stuck on the betrayal chapter. Ours keeps eclipsing. I joined him. Rain pattering iron. Maybe that's the point. Love's not linear. It's loops. Scars. Surprises. He turned. Eyes searching. Then looped me in. All the way. The invitation hung. Profound. We danced around full intimacy, kisses deepening, touches venturing, but halting at precipice, honoring the step-chasm's echo. That night, thunder rumbling approval. We crossed. Slow. Sacred. Candles flickering. Bodies exploring with reverence. Not conquest. Whispers of names, his, mine. Elena's invoked soft as prayer. Climax not just physical, but cathartic. Years longing released in gasps. Tears mingling sweat. After, tangled in sheets. He traced my cuff. Whole now, I nodded. Throat full. Always were. Just catching up. Summer sizzled with renewal. We honeymooned domestic. Picnics in Millennium Park. Bean-shaped skyline winking. Jazz fest where we'd sway, lost in crowds. Friends noticed shift. Lena toasting a rooftop soiree. To messy miracles. Raj pulled me aside. He's good for you. Don't fuck it. Advice landed. I doubled therapy. Unpacking paternal ghosts. How Elena's death morphed protector into paramour. Guilt's alchemy. Anthony mirrored sessions on codependence, fearing he'd ruin me like his bio dad, absent drunk. Ohio footnote. Yet conflict's not conquered, it evolves. August brought family reckoning. My sister's wedding in Cleveland. Nuptials under tents by Lake Erie. Invitation extended hesitant. Bring him. As. Family. We drove. Tension thick as humidity. Reception swirled. Aunts in pastel. Cousins quizzing Anthony on city life. Whispers trailing. Dance floor moment. Slow song. Sarah McLachlan crooning loss. And there we were, stepfather-son turned partners. Swaying tentative. Eyes met across the floor, my sister, brow furrowed, then softening to nod. Later, under stars, she cornered us. It's unconventional, but happy looks good on you both. Absolution partial, but potent. Fall's harvest yielded hard choices. Anthony's book deal landed, advance modest. But validation huge, beyond blood, queer kinships reclaimed. Tours beckoned, readings in San Francisco, panels in Austin. Come, he asked. Excitement laced anxiety. I hesitated, thesis defense in October. Job tenure vote November. Go conquer. I'll hold the fort. Misunderstanding flickered, his launch party photos flooding feeds. Arms around fans. Ty cameo in a shot, harmless. He swore. Distance amplified doubts. Calls grew clipped. Texts laced subtext. Miss you became busy week. Climax crested Thanksgiving. Him flying home late. Me prepping turkey solo. Elena's recipe a ritual. Plane delay stretched hours. I paced. Phone glued. Visions of Rex, irrational. Rooted in loss. He burst in at midnight. Pie in hand. Eyes weary. Rough flight. Rough everything. Collapse on the couch. Confessions cascading. Tour highs. Standing ovations. Queer youth hugging post-reading. Your story saved me. Lows. Hecklers shouting pervert at a Bible Belt bookstore. Ty's drunken voicemail. He's settling. Man, you deserve fireworks. Betrayal's aftershock. Not action, but temptation's whisper. I deleted it, he vowed. Chose us. We cried, then laughed. Absurdity of turkey cold. Pie smashed and hug. That night, love-making fervent. Reclaiming. Dawn brought decision. Balance recalibrated. I'd join future legs. Sabbatical planned. Partners, not parallels, I said. He grinned, cuff tapping mine. Deal. Winter whispered warnings anew. News from Ohio. Old colleague emailing board dirt. Anonymous tip on inappropriate conduct with ex-student. Echo of past probe. But sharper now. Post-column fame fanning flames. Lawyers looped. Stress spiking blood pressure. Anthony rallied. Op-ed drafted. Love under fire. Why queer families fight. Published viral. Support surged. ACLU offers. Petitions. But toll mounted. My migraines returning. His sleep fractured by nightmares of knives, metaphoric now. But visceral. Through it. Depth plumbed. Couples counseling. Where we mapped psychologies, attachment styles clashing, mine avoidant. His anxious. Taboos trauma bonding us tight. Bookshelves groaned, the velvet rage, all the rage, gay men's inner wars. Romance sustained. Date nights at Second City Improv. Laughs healing, baths drawn with Epsom. Hands massaging knots. One December Eve, snow blanketing. We build a fort in the living room, blankets draped. Fairy lights twinkling. Childhood reclaimed. Inside, whispers of futures, adoption maybe, or just us. Enough. Human enough, he murmured. Kiss ceiling. New Year's Eve. Atop Willis Tower. City sprawl below. We toasted. To unexpected stuns. Fireworks burst. Mirroring hearts. Betrayal scars? Faded to stories. Strength's source. Love. Dramatic tapestry. Conflicts woven. Emotions raw. Romances thread golden. The following spring marked pivot. Not endpoint, but evolution's exhale. Chicago bloomed riotous. Magnolias unfurling in Grant Park. Our runs along the lakefront greening with possibility. Anthony's book hit shelves. Midnight launch a whirlwind of hugs and champagne flutes. His reading voice steady. Love isn't blood's monopoly. It's choice's bold claim. Q&A delved deep. Audience queries on navigating family fallout. My hand under the table is anchor. Sales climb modestly. Reviews mixed. Brave but borderline from conservative rags. Revolutionary kinship from indie presses. He shrugged off barbs. But I saw the flinch, old wounds reopening like poorly stitched seams. My thesis defended triumphantly. Dr. Rivera beaming. You've woven personal into profound. Hail. Tenure followed. A quiet ceremony in the faculty lounge. Cake etched with history's heroes. Anthony surprised with cufflinks matching ours. Engraved seized. That night, dinner at Illenia, molecular gastronomy's whimsy mirroring our alchemy. We danced in the alley after. Rain-slick cobblestones underfoot. Kiss tasting of foie and forever. But drama's not dormant, it simmers. Summer unearthed buried mine. Elena's will. Contested by Anthony's estranged uncle. Greedy for the house proceeds we'd banked for a nest egg. Court dates in Ohio loomed. Humid courtrooms reeking of varnish and vendettas. Uncle Roy, paunchy and pious, sneered across tables. Unnatural union taints her legacy. Anthony's testimony cracked, voice steady. But eyes storm-tossed, she wanted us happy. This. Theft. My turn. Recounting her final wishes. Love's bequest. Judge ruled our favor. But cost extracted. Legal fees, nibbling savings. Emotional toll heavier. Post-verdict. We drove home silent. Then pulled over at a rest stop. Collapsing in laughter tears. Family's farce, he gasped. I held him tight. Ours is fact. Autumn's palate turned introspective. Podcast hiatus for Anthony. Burnouts bite. Deadlines, devouring dreams. He retreated to the novel. Pages piling. But blocks persisted. Can't resolve the ending. Happy feels forced, tragic, untrue. We'd brainstorm over walks in Lincoln Park. Geese honking migrations. Humanistic, I suggested. Growth amid gray. Inspiration struck odd. A letter from an Ohio listener. Teen grappling step-parent love unspoken. Your column gave words. Now, courage. Anthony wept, then wrote fever nights. Me brewing tea at 3 a.m. Draft finished by Halloween. Our arc. Fictionalized, but faithful. Climax in mutual choice over chaos. Publication waited, but validation immediate. His editor's email. This? Gold. Meanwhile, my GSA club thrived. Field trip to the Leather Archives, Tame Tour. Pride workshop where kids shared flags of self. One boy, echo of young Anthony, confided, scared to tell dad. I shared snippets, our stuns, survivals, eyes widening hope. Thanks, Mr. Ush. Your family. Winter's hush brought high drama's echo. Health scare. Mine. Routine checkup flagged irregular heartbeat. Stress's souvenir. Doc said. Tests blurred December. EKG's cold on skin. Cardiologist frowns. Anthony white-knuckled waits. Joking through fear. No leaving me. Old man. Biopsy clear. Benign arrhythmia. Meds prescribed, but vulnerability bonded deeper. Homebound holidays. We nested. tree trimmed with Elena's ornaments. Hanukkah candles nod to Raja's influence. Kwanzaa Kinara for diversity's sake. New Year's quiet, fire escape vigil. Resolutions whispered, more presence. Less fear. Spring 2027 cycled renewal. Anthony's novel dropped. Echoes unscripted. Bestseller whisper in queer lit circles. Tour lighter. Virtual mostly. Us co-presenting webinars on taboo tales. Feedback flooded. Felt seen. Broke my heart open. Roy even wrote an olive branch. Grudging. Proud of the boy. Legacy's his. Forgiveness? Partial. But peace. Our depth? Unplumbed still. Therapy tapering. But check-ins ritual. Monthly dates dissecting dreams. Fears. Romance matured. Anniversaries marked with canyon pilgrimages. Sunset ceiling. Intimacies ease now, mornings lazy, evenings exploratory, love's language fluent. No kids pursued yet, fostering floated. Futures maybe. Society's gaze softened. Pride parades where we emceed floats. Media spots on modern families. Yet conflicts linger. Life's weave. 1 June dawn. Argument erupted. Petty spark forgotten dry cleaning. Fanning a gale. You still check my phone vibes, he accused. And you flirt with escape and stress. Truths hurled. My control as cloaked fear. His withdrawal as armor. Storm passed in makeup's mercy. Hike and starve rock. Waterfalls washing slate. We're human, he said. Hand in mine. Mess included. Climax's shadow. A call from Ohio State. Dean offering adjunct spot. Pull back to roots. Temptation tugged. Legacy. Students known. Anthony's eyes shadowed. Go if it calls. Hard decision. Auditioned. But declined. Roots here now. With you. His hug crushed gratitude. Summer zenith. Wedding vow. Private. City Hall. Lena officiating. Raj and her as witnesses. No frills. Jeans. Cuffs gleaming. Rings simple bands. Vows handwritten line. You stun me into living. His unexpected, but essential. Reception backyard barbecue. Laughter loud. Years folded forward. 2028. Fostering first kid. A queer teen bridging our worlds. 2030. Anthony's TEDx talk viral. Mine book on queer histories shelved beside. Conflicts? Fleeting. Job losses navigated. Health hiccups halved. Betrayals? Forged to fortitude. Ending? No tidy bow, life's not. But humanistic arc. 2 men. Step-tied once. Soulbound now. Loving through stuns. In our brownstone, Elena smiles from wall. Anthony sketches at dawn. Me lesson planning beside. Love's drama. Emotional peaks. Romantic valleys. Conflicts conquered collective. Stunned? Eternally. Grateful? Profoundly.